The Sebunoli family make their way to their former home. They were forced to move away from here 4 years ago because their house was too close to the site of a new hydroelectric power plant.
It feels good to be back here in the mountains. This is where I was born.
I was born here, and so were my mum and dad. We had all kinds of crops: corn, cassava, coffee. So we always had something to eat, and we had money.
The family farmed 3 acres of land here at an altitude of 1,500 meters. They can still use a small area of it, so they return regularly. 4 other families were also forced to move to make way for the new power plant. The concrete channel, where the Lubilia River is to be redirected in the future, is almost ready. Peter Chimuli works as a project manager for a Danish company called Frontier Energy. It specializes in developing renewable energy projects in Africa.
The Lubilia River will still be flowing in its natural course. Suddenly there will be a reduced flow in especially the dry months, but during the wet months it will be like normal. There will be almost no difference.
The channel is 2 kilometers long. What's decisive for producing power is the force with which the water drives the turbines. So from here, the water will pass through steel pipes, plunging 264 meters down the mountain.
The reason we need the concrete canal is to convey water out of the river to this point where we are, which is a forebay. And what we're looking for is a net head between this point and the powerhouse where we generate all our electricity.
The entire project is set to cost $16 million. Before the work even began, a feasibility study was carried out to show whether the location was suitable. That study alone cost $600,000. The United Nations Green Climate Fund now provides money for these kinds of initiatives. In the past, it was always difficult to get funding for feasibility studies.
Because of the risk. I mean, you've got to get a group of people that, or engineers that know what they're doing, and that are able to look at a site from the very beginning and assess what the likelihood of this project going forward is. And that becomes very, very key.
2 turbines are due to arrive soon. The hydroelectric power plant is designed to produce over 5 megawatts of electricity when running at capacity. That's enough for 37,500 households. The plant is supposed to provide electricity to this remote region on the border to the Democratic Republic of Congo. But the local residents aren't yet linked to the power grid. So, for the time being, they won't benefit.
What we tell them is the truth. We tell them that as a generator and in Uganda we cannot provide electricity directly to them. But what we can do though is to, let's say, intercede with the necessary department or government authority to bring about the aspect of no electricity in a particular area for them to focus on that. That's what we do.
This dough will be used to make a wedding cake. It's all part of a cookery course for local women.
Then you can use your hands. So you need to wash your hands, remove all the bangles on your hands.
238 families have been affected by work on the power plant, so the company has to give back to the community in other ways. Bira Rita is in charge of the course. She has also set up lessons in beekeeping and arable farming.
If you give them a hands-on training, like baking, where they will produce a product and sell it off, they could be able to support themselves with the basics. They don't have to ask for the men for everything.
Back to the Sebunoli family. For the past 8 months, they've been living in their new home on the plains, 15 kilometers from their old one.
The first time I came here, I was very happy with our new home. But gradually we realized that our new life was very hard. We hardly had anything to eat, even though we had a nice home.
From January to June this year, there was a drought. That meant the family was unable to harvest anything. The house only came with a small plot of land, and the banana plants are still too young to bear fruit. If they didn't have the remainder of their farmland up in the mountains, the family would be even worse off. Once a week, employees from Frontier Energy visit them. 4 of the children are no longer going to school because the family can't afford to pay the fees.
We will definitely look into the whole issue of the land being far and just review that with them. We just go back and, just look at what led us or what led them to choose that place over, let's say, one that is near. And then, we'll find some way of bringing to them a piece of land that is closer to them.
The father and one of his sons are currently working as day laborers to help the family scrape by. The hydroelectric power company still has their work cut out for them.